Look at this. Look at this. People actually believe that there is a car floating around out in space.
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. Like, we'd have way better CGI if it was fake.
This is live on the air, okay? I'm going to zoom in on the Earth in Photoshop. You see the Earth? Okay, I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Levels, and I'm going to bring the levels up. Uh-oh. What is that? Why is there a square box around the Earth?
It is Photoshop, but it's has to be. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
So let's use this model of the Earth. And let's enlist the help of a friend, Taxi. You might know her.
Next segment, I'm going to show you how NASA grabs objects in 3D space, rotates them around, manipulates them. They can do this with water, with cloth, anything. And the cool thing about it is we can take what they're doing, what they're seeing with their contact virtual reality augmented lenses, and put that on a separate video layer live. Okay, I have a lot of Tim Peak screw-ups, but this one here, the system glitches, the software does not track his hand properly, and Tim slips his hand underneath his other fingers, which is tightly holding onto the mic, which would be impossible.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. Like, we'd have way better CGI if it was fake.
Just another example of NASA faking space. Let's take a look here at this supposed image of Jupiter. Nothing more than CGI fakery. The supposed auroras. Again, at NASA's official website, where it states Hubble captures vivid auroras in Jupiter's atmosphere. Here's the problem. The date of June 30th, 2016. Now take a look at this. Another so-called official image of Jupiter. This one's from back in 2014. You see the problem here? Now let's take a closer look at the supposed two images provided from NASA of Jupiter. All the clouds are in the same exact position. Here's a side-by-side. People can't see what's taking place here with NASA. Nothing more than fakery. I mean, give me a break. This is a complete insult. You have a brain in your head.
Look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
Do the hair?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
I know.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
Can you do a somersault right now?
Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair? See the hair?
And they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah.
So many times during spacewalks outside the International Space Station, we can see air bubbles rising up. Can you touch on how there are air bubbles in space?
Can you be more specific? Air bubbles?
So yeah, like a lot of times during the footage, the NASA footage, you can see bubbles coming up out of the helmets or kind of from underneath you. How do you explain bubbles in space?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Now sometimes you get water in the helmet, and it's either you know, from sweat or from the cooling garments, and you know, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
In 1986, the shuttle Challenger exploded about 74 seconds after takeoff, killing all 7 astronauts inside. Or did it? It turns out that 6 of the 7 are still alive and kicking today. Ellison Onizuka, claims to be his identical twin brother, Claude. Yeah, I've got an identical twin brother, Claude, too. The Challenger pilot, Mickey Smith, hasn't even bothered changing his name. He's now Professor Michael J. Smith of University of Wisconsin. Now, Krista McAuliffe was a bit of a sneaky one. She was the Challenger payload specialist, quite famous for being a teacher. It turns out during her astronaut days she was using her middle name, Krista, and now she goes by her first name, Sharon. The Challenger commander, Francis Richard Scobie, is now Dick Scobie, which sounds like a rather unpleasant disease. Judith Resnick, the Challenger mission specialist, again hasn't even bothered changing her name. She's a professor at Yale Law. And finally, Ronald McNair, another Challenger mission specialist, claims to be his identical twin brother, Carl McNair. What are the odds?
So there I was, just minding my own business, looking at Google Earth, and this big, snow-covered monstrosity is staring me in the face like, why is that covered in snow? So I keep digging a little bit deeper, and I finally get underneath this cloud cover here, and a few images pop up. And I say, oh, images, what are they? Well, this is what you got, which I'm sure that looks familiar to you, right? Looks just like the pictures they give us of Mars. So I'm just kind of creeping around here and definitely noticing the same kind of undulation changes and same kind of rock, same kind of dirt. The only thing that's missing is that nice little red tint that they pay somebody $150,000 a year to put on there. So I'll keep kind of going through here and see if it... What the... Yeah. So, I got another truck. Oh yeah, it says NASA. What's that say? Mars Project? I think I found out where Mars is, guys.
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space?
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on space station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit.
Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit.
Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
There's a small problem with going to the moon, and inch by inch, NASA is leaking out that they know that there's a problem there. It's called the Van Allen belts, high radiation belts of charged particles around Earth, and we don't know how to get through them, they say. Well, isn't that interesting, because there sure didn't seem to be a problem back in 1969.
The moon landing stopped in 1972 and we haven't been back. We haven't been beyond the Van Allen belts.
NASA admitted that it had lost the original footage of man's first steps on the moon.
To YouTube and watch A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. It contains newly discovered evidence, which is part of the missing tapes, of outtakes from the first mission to the moon, of them falsifying a shot of being halfway to the moon.
For NASA to come out and say that all the tapes were erased, I mean, it's incredible. Geraldo, this isn't just one tape. This is reams of tape labeled Apollo 11 moon landing. Someone had to physically go and erase it. It's very challenging to try to prove we landed on the moon, and it shouldn't be challenging. The tape should be there. There should be plenty of evidence.
I mean, it's proof right there. This is an official NASA photo of the first Apollo 11 lunar module landing on the moon. I mean, it's right there. This is proof, man. It's the picture's right there. It's landing on the moon. But the only problem I have with this picture is that it's taken from the moon. People who believe they saw the landing on the moon because they heard it on the radio.
There's a picture of the INSAT actually being deployed from the spacecraft.
Did you see it in the background? There was a guy in the background, man. I'm not kidding you. You can't deny that that's someone in the background. There's a guy moving in the background.
And I'll tell you, just if nothing else, here's why you can tell they're not fake. Just to create the paperwork, that amount of paperwork would make faking it prohibitively expensive. No one could afford to generate that much documentation.
All of that happened in a little town called York, Maine, across the United States from where we're talking to you right now. Across the United States from where we're talking to you right now.
My research of the last year has led me to the conclusion that not even low Earth orbit is possible, that the International Space Station is a hoax, and all manned space travel is fake. First though, let's have a look at the International Space Station. I want to talk about some of the anomalies I see there. For the inside of the International Space Station, there are a couple of zero-gravity tricks that they use to fake it. The first is they have a complete mock-up of the International Space Station built on the inside of an airplane. And that airplane does a bunch of rises and falls. It does an upside-down parabolic trajectory, and that simulates zero gravity. The other main way they simulate the zero gravity is with suspension in front of a blue screen. And they use that trick for extended periods of time, for longer than 45-second segments. But they can't move around as much. They can't do the acrobatic flips and rolls in the extended mode. So there's full motion mode where they can fully move around, and that's faked in plane. And then there's suspended or extended mode where they're suspended by wires in front of a blue screen. They don't move around as much, but they can make the scene last for a longer period of time. The extended mode is much quieter than the full motion mode. In full motion mode, you can actually hear the sound of the jet engines, the engines of the airplane. In every single scene of full motion mode, in every segment of the International Space Station, you can hear this loud sound, the sound of the jet engines. You could argue that it's the air conditioning system. Not even an office air conditioner is that loud. And why is there a loud sound in every segment of the International Space Station?
Mr. Armstrong, Bart Sibrel, ABC Digital. Wanted to give you the opportunity to swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon. Will you put your left hand on the Bible and swear to God that you walked on the moon? You have $5,000 cash. You can give it to charity if you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon.
Please
I have the tape.
It'd be fine.
Why don't you swear to... Why not? Why won't you do it?
The Earth supposedly 23.4 degrees on its axis. And that leaves you, of course, the occultic number, again, 66.6 degrees off. Well, Earth is supposedly orbiting around the Sun at 66,600 miles an hour. This is going to be a very important video for those that can't comprehend the mass deception when it comes to so-called space exploration. You know, there's many people that are dead asleep and believe NASA, and even those that might question NASA say, well, even if NASA's lying, what about all the other space agencies throughout this world? Well, again, this is exactly what this video is about. Not only exposing NASA, but all the other space agencies. The main players are, of course, NASA itself and also the European Space Agency. Let's get right to it. I'm going to show this clip a little bit later on, but I want to start off first showing this Italian so-called astronaut, and this is going to blow away a lot of people what they're going to see here. And this is a very difficult video to find, this footage. It's been basically scrubbed off YouTube. And let's just take a look here. As this, again, Italian astronaut is fiddling with this, I believe it's some type of clip with the wire attached to it. Take a look at what happens here. He drops it. Again, take a closer. I'm going to get a little bit of a close-up. He just turns around there. He just turned around. Let's back that up there a little bit. He's like, oops, this is not supposed to happen. And just take a look at him turn around. And again, while the clip drops, he turns around. And let's take a closer look here. Oh, he dropped it. Supposedly in outer space. Give me a complete break. Another close-up. And I wonder what the people that believe in space travel are going to say about this. Of course, there's going to be some that are going to be shocked and they're trying to rationalize what's taking place. Now, there's going to say, hey, wait a second. This is not supposed to happen. Again, let's take a look. What a complete joke. And again, he turns around. Now, let's take a look here. I'm going to put pause here for a second. This is a Dutch astronaut, and they call them astronauts for a reason, because they're not in space with the astronaut. Let's play this clip here as this guy fiddles and diddles with a screw, and it drops. Let's take a look.
Interessante systemen. Hier achter deze panelen wordt de urine opgevangen.
Now take a look. And you heard it drop. You heard that screw drop and he looks down. Okay, let's play that again. He's looking for it. He's searching for it. There you go. You got two. And again, this is the main point. Like I stated, you have not only, of course, with NASA, I'm going to show this ridiculousness a little bit later. You have NASA. You have this goofy Italian astronaut, again with the European Space Agency, more like the European Studio Agency, with all this conducted in a studio. And again, this Dutch astronaut as well, with the screw dropping. Let's just watch it one last time. And there you go. So again, the relevance here is the so-called international space community, the explorers of space, supposedly, they're all doing the same thing. They're all faking space. And again, this is vital for those that haven't seen it. With these goofballs, let's just back up here a little bit actually, with this interview being conducted, and just take a listen, and again, just focus on this one female here with the hair and what takes place here. But again, listen to the person conducting the interview. And the question he asked, of course, he's not asking this on his own. He's told to ask this. And again, it's complete mockery. Take a look and take a listen.
Like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still? See the hair?
Yeah, see the hair. Again, let's get a close-up of the hair. And obviously, this is, look at that smile first off. Just, you know, she knows she has so many people fooled, and they're just, this is again duping the light where they just get off on fooling the public. And obviously, again, look at that hairspray, you know, all brushed up, combed up, and just complete ridiculousness. Now let's get back to this interview. And another point I want to make, let's get right here.
Clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still? See the hair?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
Now watch this guy with the U.S. Marine Corps t-shirt and take a look at what he does. Again, all smoke and mirrors. And then he pulls on a wire right here.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
This guy here is obviously on a harness. And again, smoke and mirrors is all they're doing. And watch these two in the back do their flip. And look at her hair. Doesn't change. Standing straight up and going upside down the same. Now it's key what he says here. Take a close listen to what he says here. Again, the mockery never ends.
I think Sandy's hair is pretty much a dead giveaway.
Yeah, like he said, Sandy's hair is pretty much a dead giveaway, meaning they're faking this, you know, and they're not, you know, they know there's so many people out there that just love the idea of outer space, and they're basically going to, again, rationalize and why this is not fake. But again, this is, you know, for people that, you know, have half a brain, they should be able to see exactly what's going on here. And if people don't question this, you know, they're not going to question anything they're told. They're just basically mind controlled. Now let's get into the aspect again, talking about this being a international deception, as I showed earlier with the Italian astronaut and the Dutch astronaut, as you see here. Now let's take a look here at the logos. Of course, you see here with NASA, and of course you see which looks like almost like a serpent's tongue. The serpent's tongue is also a vector symbol, as you see here as well. Now let's take a look here at Russia with Roscosmos, and you see the same basic vector or chevron symbolism. Take a look at this image here. Basically a vector or chevron, one of the same, basically the variants, as you can see here. When it comes down to, all these so-called space agencies are using the same logo with, again, the chevron. This is China, as you can see. This is India, okay? And you have Japan, and you see the vector symbolism. Also, with subcontractor with NASA, you have Lockheed Martin, and you clearly see the broken pentagram or the chevron. You know, this is duality when it comes to Freemasonry. Sometimes it's not just the one symbolism. There's dual symbolism. Again, it's all about Masonry. And I find it interesting with Russia and the so-called space station mirror. Here's a patch, and basically it's a mirror image of NASA's subcontractor Lockheed Martin with the reversed two chevrons. And you know what it comes down to is this: the chevron, as we all know, the gas station, and you see here the red and the blue. Red and blue together makes purple. But again, the chevron. Why chevron? And again, this world is run by Masons, and the chevron is 33 in numerology. So basically, when you're looking here, the Masons know this is a 33. And what it comes down to with this world, this mass deception, and this quote by Manly P. Hall, a very famous Freemason, absolutely no hero, but definitely speaking the truth here. It is said that wisdom lies not in seeing things, but seeing through things. And also this very important quote, again by Manly P. Hall: when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. And this is very key. You know, nothing's hidden in this world. And, you know, again, what it all comes down to is this should be plain to see for everybody. You know, obviously for those that already know, you know, they're faking space. And for anybody out there that's, you know, is on the fence, this should be, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, with all these screwball actors, goofball actors, the hair, and the people that believe in NASA. And of course, they're going to rage, they're going to be upset. They don't like to be told, basically, you know, their illusion, their false reality has been destroyed. That's basically what it comes down to. Ego's the biggest enemy of truth. And definitely with this video, hope it's passed along and people can see this and show objectively that these people are faking space.
Oh, baby, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh, baby, then it fell apart. Strange sounds have told me, they held me down every night. I didn't have much to say, I didn't give up the light. I closed my eyes and closed myself and closed my world and never opened up to anything that could get me at all. I had so much in so many places, so many heartaches, so many faces, so many dirty things you couldn't even believe. I would stand in line for this. It's always good in life for this. Oh baby, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh baby, then it fell apart. It fell apart. Oh baby, then it fell apart. It fell apart.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Christ Jesus, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For the law of the Spirit of life in Christ Jesus hath made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God, sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so be that the Spirit of God dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. And if Christ be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the Spirit of him that raised up Jesus from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Christ from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh, to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the Spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with Christ, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day according to the Scriptures, and that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. After that he was seen of above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some are fallen asleep. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that in the wisdom of God the world by wisdom knew not God, it pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. For the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, unto the Jews a stumbling block, and unto the Greeks foolishness, But unto them which are called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. Because the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world, and things which are despised, hath God chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. But of him are ye in Christ Jesus, who of God is made unto us wisdom, and righteousness, and sanctification, and redemption, that, according as it is written, he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For every one that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God.
Time is running out.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. The great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour.